So why did I turn down the ambassador program? When Magic the Gathering Foundation set was coming out, I was reached out to somebody at Wizards of the Coast to be an ambassador. And I thought really long and hard about it, but at the end I decided to turn it down for a few different reasons. One reason is that I feel like when you're kind of taking on these kind of things, you're kind of also taking on the baggage of that brand or company that you're working with. And while I love Magic the Gathering, like I'm obsessed with it, I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the practices that Wizards of the Coast has done over the years. And I'm sure some people are going to say, but you make content for Magic the Gathering, you're making content for Wizards of the Coast and promoting their product. I think that Magic the Gathering is so much more than beyond the company. The company is a big part of it, of course, but there's also like the people that sell cards, there's people that play the game, there are people that do cosplays. There's so much around the Magic the Gathering ecosystem that I think it's more than just a company. It's the players, it's the cosplayers, it's the artists, it's everything. I think Wizards of the Coast is just one piece of that pie, and I don't necessarily agree with what Wizards of the Coast does. And I didn't want to take that on and have that be something that represents myself. And one business practice that I don't agree with is the FOMO marketing. Now, I don't think that being an ambassador necessarily means that you have to do it in a FOMO marketing way. I think being an ambassador encourages that kind of content. I think at the end of the day, it's UGC content, which is user-generated content, which is just like regular people trying to show off a product to say that this is great and pretty much be an ad. Like, some people are fine with doing that. I hate that stuff. But there's a lot of like stigma tied behind the ambassador program too. There's always hate that comes with it. And I just kind of didn't want to deal with that personally as well. But also on top of that, I think a lot of creators tend to think that the ambassador program is kind of like the pinnacle of being a Magic creator, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I think a lot of people tend to think that if you get under Wizards' good graces, it's a lot of validation, but it doesn't necessarily bring you success. I believe that there's only one person that is responsible for improving your platform, for growing your platform, and that is the creator themselves. I think it's really important for the creator to improve their content and not look for avenues of other people that can grow their content, if that makes any sense. Creators have this idea that if you become an ambassador, you'll be brought with all this success, you'll get all these new cards that you can show off and make content with, and that'll just give you views. But that doesn't really happen. And so like, if product isn't what's going to make your content better, if being in Wizards' good graces not going to make you a better content creator, why do I need to take on like all this negative stigma behind it when I can just work on myself, work on my content, and just grow that way? You know what I mean? For me, it's not really for me.